Okay, let's kick off. Right, so Congress is meeting tomorrow to vote on the tentative agreement between McCarthy and Joe Biden, and the lawmakers are setting out the terms and conditions of the raising of the debt ceiling. The problem is it's a very, very fine line if Congress is going to approve this increase in the debt ceiling. And there's a probability, and I would suggest, in my opinion, that it is a high probability that it won't pass through Congress. And that could cause and will cause a default on June the 5th. Why June the 5th? Because the US Treasury has given the date June the 5th as the first deadline of part payment of a that is due, and that would be a default. Okay, now one of the viewers, or some of the viewers, are saying that I'm very pessimistic and all the views I have are pessimistic and I'm always searching out pessimistic news. It's not 100% true. Up until December 2021, then I was very positive towards financial markets, because with cheap money at zero interest rates and inflation at whatever it was, 1.5% or 2%, then there was only one direction for stock markets to go, and that was north, and that was to go up. But once I started to identify and it was clear that inflation is rearing its ugly head as a result of the exit from the pandemic and all this huge amounts of money flowing around, then it was clear that the market is going to be impacted. And remember, at that time, which I just want to relate to what one of the viewers is stating, at that time, interest rates back in December 21, January 22, February 22, the general market was expecting that rates would go up by maximum 0.5% throughout 2022, and I clearly stated in January 2022 that rates in the States, the US, are going to go to 4%, 4.5% in 2022 and continue rising as the economy goes into more difficulties. So no, I'm not pessimistic. I'm actually very positive. For example, I'm very positive on this AI-GPT chat, which I think is going to go sky high and is going to send, as I said, shares like Nvidia. So Marvell Technologies, for example, I think is a great company, and they're also going to go up. But let's just move back to the debt ceiling. So the debt ceiling is, as one of the viewers said, there's a 2% chance that the US will default. Could be. I mean, I don't buy into it. I think there's going to be more like a 50% chance that the default, based on present sentiment of the Republicans versus the White House. Okay, so yeah, of course, can be wrong, but I think there will be a default. That's my opinion. Okay, moving on. So overnight futures in the US have moved up slightly in anticipation of a debt ceiling agreement. Now, once that agreement's in place, obviously the markets will rally on the back of that agreement. Then there'll be a big test. Where will it go from there? The general thought, or general view is you buy on rumor, sell on fact. So you could end up having a fallout from financial markets as a result of that fact of the debt ceiling being increased, assuming it is going to be increased. Other markets to look at, Japanese markets. Now, very interesting, Japanese markets now, it is at, the topics is at a 30-year high. So that is creeping up there, because now the Japanese government is introducing regulation, or loosening regulation more, that make it advantageous for shareholders. So that's become a very attractive, or more attractive market to invest in. So if you're looking for a market to trade, or an index to trade, you could be looking at the Far East, at Japan, because it's gone up over 14% and looking to go higher. So it's a 30-year high, likely to go higher. Looks like a very interesting market. And remember, they do have zero interest rates. When you're talking about Japan, you're talking about also dollar yen. So the yen's devaluing, or the yen's dropping in value. That makes the Japanese market more attractive, and that's one of the reasons why also it's getting a push. Looking at dollar yen, you can expect dollar yen as an FX trader to move higher, probably towards the 150 level. So those of you who are foreign exchange traders, look at dollar yen. Talking about foreign exchange, Cable's at 123.5. Cable is pound dollar. I've just got a feeling that that's going to move up to 126.5, 127 again. It's been up there to come up, but I think it's going to rise up there again as interest rates will rise in the UK. Also, overall general trend of the dollar is down. You can look at the DXY, but the general trend of the dollar is down. It is quite common knowledge out there. The dollar will get weaker throughout 2023 unless there's some major war, major crisis. But you can expect the dollar to get weaker. Furthermore, you can expect the banking crisis to come to the fore, simply because consumers are not happy with the regional banks overall on stability of the banks and confidence in the banks. So you could expect, or will expect, the banking crisis to come back into play, and then you're going to end up a lot more pressure on the tier 1 banks and on the Fed to save the banks as they go forward. Someone mentioned what to do with gold. Well, it all depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about the present position at the moment, is that gold is a safe haven, but depends what the crisis is. So if it's a war, gold is safe haven. If it's a overall banking crisis, gold is a safe haven. Overall general other political issues, gold is a safe haven. But if it's a recession, then gold is not a safe haven, because gold will come down if there is a recession. Just take that into account. Those who are crypto traders, Conavoy talked about cryptos. Again, Bitcoin is not considered a safe haven, but as far as the crypto traders are concerned, and obviously all other cryptos, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, they're considered safe haven by the crypto traders. Overall, as far as the markets are concerned, they're not considered safe haven, but they are getting a lot more popular, and especially with Bitcoin, it's got a limited number out there. Oil, expect OPEC to cut production going forward because they want to maintain the oil at that superior high level. US yields, US treasury yields are moving up again. Concerns that that the US will default and you'll end up having a much higher yield on the US treasuries. You can subscribe, share, comment. Looking for any type of feedback whatsoever. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. Have a good day.